Hi, everybody. This is Virginia Milner. I'm back with another jewelry making tutorial, and today I'm going to show you how to make, and I've showed you how to make some S um, clasps. I'm going to show you how to use that S hook technique to make a link chain. So I want to show you how to make this a really, really neat S-link chain, and how to wire wrap some just small pebbles and rocks and stones that you might find in your yard, and make it into something that you can use for a link on something like this necklace chain. I thought that that would be kind of interesting, because there's so many really pretty stones out there, and they're just tiny. They're just really small stones that you can find in your yard, which is where, I found these. So you can use them to add some kind of interest to a chain. This is a really interesting chain as it is. And then if you add a kind of a conversation piece, it'll be something that nobody has but you. So I want to show you how to do those two things, and how to make a necklace out of something that you might just have around the house. You might even have some of those little decorative pebbles in the bottom of your, that you use in the bottom of a fish tank, or to decorate a vase or something like that. I'm really into upcycling, so we're going to learn how to do that. It's a really, really easy way to create a cage or a wrap for a stone or a rock or a marble or cabochon or anything like that. And all it takes is a little bit of wire, rock or a stone, and you are ready to roll. So let's rock and roll. Oh, I can't believe I said that. But anyway, that's what we're going to do today. I'm calling it the You Rock necklace. So here we go. I hope you can't hear that noise out there. There's deliveries going on, and they are loud. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to need is your basic pliers, which consist of cutters, round nose pliers, and they're loud out there, and flat nose or chain nose pliers. And you're going to need a ruler so that you can measure your wire, and I'm using 20 gauge wire. That's all you need today, is the 20 gauge. So the first thing that we're going to do is our chain link. We're going to do that first. So all you need for that is a few pieces of about 2 inches of wire. And that is the size that I'm making. It really depends. If you want, it depends on the size of hook that you want. If you want a bigger hook, you'll need more wire. But I'm going for a loop that's just about 3/4 of an inch long, links that are about 3/4 of an inch long. And you can determine how long you want them to be or how many links you want to make by how long you want each one of them to be. So if you want an 18-inch chain and you want to make 1-inch links, you can do that. You can make them 1 inch long. I think this one's about 1 inch. There we go. That's about 7/8 of an inch long. Then you can multiply 7/8 of an inch times 18, or divide it into 18, I think it is, and determine how many you need. For instance, if you made each of your links 1 inch long, then you'd obviously need 18 links. But if you have it 7/8 of an inch, then you have to do a little bit more math, not much, but a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with this 7/8 of an inch link that's the size that I'm going to use to make these. And for just to get kind of an idea, the easiest way to know how much wire you need to make the size length that you want, it's experimental. Because you have I can kind of guess, but if you want an exact measurement, the best thing to do is to cut a length of wire, make one side of your link, then measure to see how much is left. That'll tell you how much, and then once you make the entire piece, measure that to see how long it is. It's not an exact science. It's very approximate. You can kind of get an idea. For instance, this is a 7/8 of an inch long, about 7/8 of an inch long link. One side of it is about 3/8 of an inch, which means the other side is going to be about 3/8 of an inch as well, including the loop, half an inch at the most. The same on the other side, so that's 6/8 or 3/4. And then you have to take into consideration the loops and the curves and all of that. So I would give myself a good 2.5 inches of wire, and let's see how that works. So I'm going to give myself 2.5 inches of wire. That's 2.5. There's my finished product. 1, 2. Then I have curves to go around. I have loops to make. That should possibly do it. So I'm going to do one, show you the format, and then we'll go back to the measuring. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is make a very small loop. So I'm going to grab the tip of my wire with the tip of my pliers, and I'm going to make a small loop. As small as I can make. So there's my small loop. Then I'm going to go back in with my pliers and slide all the way down to the hilt or the back of my pliers, my round nose pliers, and just below the ring of my wire. So I don't have the ring resting right against my pliers. I'm going to give myself a fraction of space so that my ring is resting just above the jaw of my pliers. Now I'm going to wrap my wire over the top to meet the top of my wire. Now, I call the bottom of my wire where the loop is hanging. So this is the top where the long edge of my wire is, and this is the bottom where the loop is. So slide my wire in, give myself a tiny bit of space between my loop and the jaw of my pliers, wrap my wire around until it touches the top of my wire, and then take it out. And I have a shepherd's hook. That's my first side. Now I can see that that's a little bit, just a tiny bit bigger than this one. Not too much, but a tiny bit. So I think I'm going to end up with a 1-inch hook instead of a 7/8 inch, but that's okay. Let's see how much wire I have left. I started with 2.5 inches, and now I have on the other side here that's not looped, I have 1 1/4 inches. 2.5, 1 1/4, exactly in half. Perfect. So now I'm going to make a loop on the other side. Just a small loop, grabbing the tip with the tip. And making a loop. If I can grab it, my goodness. There we go. Okay, and there's my loop. Now, I did that wrong because my loop should be on the same side as this loop. No need to panic. Sometimes I do this in my class and I go, oh no, look at what I did. So here's why you don't need to panic, because this is very flexible wire. All you have to do is hold one side with your pliers, the other side with your fingers, give it a good twist, and voila, they're back on the same side again. Easy correction. And so now I'm going to slide my pliers in again, grab my wire just below the loop, leave a tiny bit of space just like you did the first time. And when I say tiny, I mean just enough so that you can maybe slide your fingernail under, but that's all. No more than that. I mean, this time I have something to hold on to. So I'm going to hold on to my little loop here, and I'm going to wrap away from the rounded part. I'm going to wrap it around and over to the other side. Now, you can see where I have a little bit of extra space here. I can leave it like that, that's fine, but I think I'd like these loops to be closer together. So how do I fix that? Well, I open it back out very carefully. I can take my pliers, get rid of that curve. And I'm going to cut off that right inside of that ring. That will be approximately 1/8 of an inch that I will lose. And I think that's all I need to get rid of. So let's see how much I'm measuring here. 1 1/8. So about 1 1/8 is what I need for my other side. So this time I'm going to do it correctly. I'm going to make my loop on the same side as the other hook. Let's make my little loop. There we go. Slide my pliers down on the wire just above the loop. Give it a little tiny bit of space. Clamp down. Wrap over the top until I meet my ring. And there we have it. Very nice. So now I know I need about 1 1/8 inches on each side to make a 7/8 of an inch link. There we go. So let's do a few more of those. So that means I need about 2 1/4, but what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut 2 1/2, and then I can cut it down to 1 1/8 if I need to. It's better to have too much than too little. So let's go with 2 1/2. I'll just show you one more. Let's show you one more of those. So round nose pliers, tip with the tip. Easy to remember. Grab the tip with the tip, make a loop, as small as you can get it. Slide your wire down to the back of your pliers. Make sure there's a little space between the loop and the jaw of the pliers. Clamp down. Wrap the wire around until the long edge touches the loop. There's your first shepherd's hook. Go to the other side. Well, let's measure first. I need 1 1/8. So I've got a little clipping to do. Clip off the end down to 1 1/8 of an inch. And again, when you're clipping, make sure you hold on to the tip, not on the end, because you don't want that to go through your finger. Or find a little container to cut it in. Measure again, just to be sure. There we go, 1 1/8. Now on the same side as my large loop, I'm going to make another loop. Grabbing the tip with the tip, make a loop. Slide my pliers down the wire, or the wire down the pliers. Grab the wire just beneath the ring. Rotate the pliers, bring the wire over until the ring touches the long edge of the wire. And there's my loop. There's my hook. We're ready to go with those. All right, so now what I'm going to show you how to do is the wire wrapping part. So I'm going to take these stones. I just found this little bag of stones, just little tiny, just above pebble size, really. Okay. And I'm just going to show you an easy way to wrap those that you can make them into something you can link. Like that. Okay. All right. Take about 8 to 10 inches of wire. And again, this is going to depend on the size of your stone. So I'm going to take this stone, and I've got it's about 7/8 of an inch long. You've also got to consider what the depth of it is. If you have a flat one, it's not going to take as much, but I've got about 7/8 inch long rock. Let's see here. And I know that I'm going to be wrapping it. So I'm going to take a cord and just very loosely wrap it around there one time. So I've got a little loose wrap there. That's about 2.5 inches. So I know I want to make a cage. So I want at least 4 bars. So that's 5 inches right there. And then I need to make loops on each side and wrap them. So that's at least 7, 8 inches. So I'm going to give myself 10 inches just to be safe. And then let's see what we've got left at the end. So I'm going to give myself 10 inches of wire. And the first thing I'm going to do is kind of fold it in half. I'm going to take my pliers. I'm going to grab my wire. I'm going to cross it over. And I just need a small loop because I'm just making a link. It doesn't have to be bale size. So that's kind of a third of the way down my pliers. And again, it depends on your pliers as well. So now I'm going to twist it to close that loop. Just give it a couple of twists. That's all you need. So now I'm going to put that on my rock. It's going to be a little fidgety because you don't have it locked in there yet. So there's my rock. Bring that down to the other side. And I'm going to take one of these wires. You can do this one of two ways. You can either twist it. I find it easier to wrap it. I'm going to take one wire and wrap it around the other one just a couple of times. Just twice. That's it. Don't panic. We haven't made our cage yet. We're just getting a frame. So there's my frame. So now the wire that I did not wrap, I'm going to take that and make a loop. So I'm going to take this out because I don't want to fight with it. So I'm going to take that other wire, the one that wasn't wrapped, here's the wire that I used to wrap around this wire. This wire, I'm going to go in, third of the way down my pliers, and make a loop. So there's my loop. I'm going to wrap that around once. That's enough. So now you can see what I've got there. Slide my rock back in. There we go. Get that in there. And I'm going to bring one of these wires down beside the other wire. Not close because you're making a cage. So I'm going to bring that down and wrap it. And then I'm going to do the same with this one. Let's bring that down and wrap it around on another side. And then if I have enough wire, I'm going to make another one. We're just making bars to my cage. So now I think it's pretty much in there. Take my edge, that end that's on there, and squeeze it down until it's resting against the other wires so that it won't stick you. And the same with the other one. You can either cut it off if you have enough on there, or you can wrap some more. I'm going to cut that off. And then push my end down so that's out of the way. and not lethal. And I have a cage. So now what can I do with my bars? I want to arrange them so that I know that my stone isn't going to come out. I'm just going to stretch them around. And then I can either leave them like this because that is secure, or I can make some little decoration in there. So I'm going to just give it a little twist. That tightens my wire up and gives it a little interesting detail. See here how there's a space right in there? I'm going to tighten that. That closes that space right up, and it gives me a little bit of detail. And I'm going to do that all the way around. Just give it a twist, twist, and twist. There we go. So there's my cage. Here we have it. Very, very easy, very simple. And should I do one more or not? I think that's enough. I think you've got it. This one I wrapped long ways. Same thing, just wrapped a different way. But it's a really, really easy wrap. It's a lot of fun. It's so simple, 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 simple to do. And you can do it with a lot of different things. You can do it with rocks. You can do it with marbles. This is just those marbles that you find in the dollar store and stuff like that. And you can make links out of them. And this is really neat. I love this kind of a chain because it's like a puzzle. You can take it apart. I can take the little links that I have here, and I can put my rocks on them, my stones on them, and I can put those pieces together. Let's see what we can do here. I'm going to link this together. Let's add a couple of them. I'm going to take this one, put it on. Let me get this two little smaller ones. Attach that to my chain. Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3. Let's see here, attach that one. One of the neatest things about copper, if you notice, I don't know if this shows up on camera, when you have natural metals, this is copper. It's like a copper penny. What happens to a copper penny over time? Once it starts to oxidize, it darkens. So you'll see part of this is a lot darker than that I just took off the spool. It's a completely different color. So it kind of changes color. It's one way to vary that you actually have copper, which is great. And it really makes it interesting and pretty, I think. But you need to be aware that these things are natural. It's a natural, is that a metal? It's a natural metal, and it's going to change over time, just so that you know what you're getting. So what I'm going to do here is put this together, put a couple of links on here, and see if we can turn this into a double strand, which we can, and I know we can because I've done it. Okay, so let's see. So we've got our links together, and we can attach those to this. Yeah, let's do it. Where do I want it to go? hang it right about there. See what that looks like. Should go up a little higher. There we go. So now I have a double-stranded necklace. Awesome. And I can move that anywhere I want. I can add more links, take some links off, make it longer, make it shorter. It's entirely up to you how you adjust this necklace, how many rocks you add. Possibilities are pretty much endless in this case. So I moved it up a little bit. Isn't that neat? I love it. You rock. Okay, so anyway, that's our tutorial for today. I just wanted to give you some other ideas to play with. This is awesome. I love it. I love making these little links and these little pieces out of something that's unusual, something that you don't normally see, something that you don't expect to see. Sorry, I'm flashing everybody again. Something that you don't expect to see. And I'll tell you what, I get the most comments, people just coming up and asking me about things out of something that's not traditional. I've worn rocks. I've done classes where we've wrapped rocks, and that we've done all kinds of blingy things, lots of crystals, lots of sparkly things. And the one thing that I have seen my participants wear, if I run into them in the store or out on the street somewhere, the one thing I see people wear the most is their rock. And I remember being puzzled about that. I thought, it's a rock. It's not even a stone. It's just a rock that an interesting rock that I found somewhere, and I gathered them up and I brought them in and I said, here, have some fun. Let me show you the basics of wrapping it, and then you can design it any way you want. And people have really taken to that. And I asked about that. I didn't want to be too, why are you wearing a rock? I mean, because I was the one that presented the class. But the main thing is because it is so unique. It's yours. And everybody I've talked to who's worn theirs says at least one person asks them, where did they get it? And they're so proud to be able to say, I did it. I did it myself. So I've shown you and shown several people, quite a few people, how to make a rock pendant. Now I wanted to show you how to make rock links, and that's basically what I wanted to show you today. I've shown all kinds of rock pendants. I'm trying to find one, but I'd never shown rock links to any extent. So I wanted to make sure that I made up for that, because it's such a fun project. But here we go. You've got your link chain, your S-link chain that you know how to make now. You've got your wire wrapped rocks. This kind of caged rock can be transformed from, can be used with rocks or with marbles, as I showed you, marbles or any kind of glass bead, anything like that. I wanted to show you rocks because they're not uniform size. I wanted to show you something that's completely different and not perfectly round, that you can make something gorgeous out of that too. So that's today's tutorial, and I wanted to do something a little untraditional. I think we have. I hope you enjoyed it. Please show me what you make. Please show me what you do with these links, because it's unlimited. You can really do anything with them. Show me what you've made. Post it on Facebook, on the library Facebook page. email it to me. The email is there, jewelrywithjen.gmail. Send me any questions that you might have, any comments that you might have, any suggestions, or anything that you think you would like for me to do. Please let me know, because I am really open to suggestions. I have some things in mind that we're going to be doing, but I am absolutely open to suggestions, which is why we ended up with an earring class, because people wanted to see it. So just let me know what you would like, and I will try to oblige. Please let me know what questions you have, and I will do my best to answer them. But until then, stay safe, stay cool, and see you next time. Bye-bye.